Hello, Internet. We're back. And at no point did we have any technical issues. Okay, I am back. Hello, Internet. Those who don't know who I am Lawrence the Office Drone. And it's kind of interesting being back into these wider framed formats. Don't have to be so skinny. It's great. And of course, as always, I am joined by Operator. Hello. He doesn't say much. The strong silent type without the strong. Anyways, today we've got a shorter episode. That's mainly because I don't want to spoil anything from the series, but I do want to talk about it, so we're in an interesting balancing act. Yeah, so we'll wait a little bit. So, how have you been, Operator? Why am I talking to him? He doesn't pay attention to me, listen to me. Well, he listens, he just doesn't talk to me. Jerk. He heard me. Anyways, let's get this started. Alright, so the series we're going to be looking at today is the Mausoleum Club series. And it's across two different series, but it's one overarching story. So, this series explores the members of an old style British gentlemen's club in the Victorian era. Like these clubs were quite common in the era, and they served as a place for men of the upper crust of society to meet with each other, to chat, drink, tell stories, play games, that sort of thing. They were also very restrictive in their memberships. It was usually limited based on class. The Mausoleum Club follows this mold. It's also the both the name of the show and the place in which the show takes place. But yeah, the Mausoleum Club follows this mold as it restricts its member based on a single criteria, but that criteria is a secret, and I won't spoil that here. However, any person, regardless of class, race, age, gender, anything like that, is able to enter the club, which makes it slightly different than most gentlemen's clubs. You're not limited to just gentlemen. Anyways, the episode of each series follows a different member of the club. Occasionally, there's two members that tell a story together, and they say a story about what happened to them and caused them to seek out the Mausoleum Club. This club is not a happy place, but rather a place for some very tormented people to gather together to try and find some solace. Each story is retold by the member and is who experiences it from their point of view, and they serve both as the protagonist and the narrator of the tale. Uh, each story has its own character, and as such, every tale is different. The stories themselves don't really fit in any set genre, but they do at least contain some elements of suspense, although that's really an imperfect designation. The creators of the show classify it as comic horror, so I guess make of that what you will. So yeah, for those of you just new to this, I'm going to go over the pros of the show and then the cons of the show, and as well as something I like doing with these longer format stuff, uh, discussing whether or not it could be made today. So let's go through the pros of the show. Each of the stories are interesting and gripping, but they're also different with different characters. Stop getting tongue tied, you idiot. Anyways, they have different characters and they take place in different locations, different locales. So the natures of stories are quite different, so you won't be bored by the stories or having to deal with samey, repetitive things. The show is also a rather longer running series with 13 episodes across the two different series. The tales also fit into different genres, such as sci-fi, murder mystery. So there is quite a bit of variety in the stories. Um, let's go to the cons now. Some of the violence in the show could raise eyebrows if you let your coworkers hear it while you're listening to it. But if they can hear what you're listening to while you have your headphones on, you've got another set of problems. And the show does have to be listened in order as it follows an overarching story between each of the tales. These details are usually at the start and the end of the episode. So if for whatever reason you can't hear that while you're at work for this crucial part, uh, it might be hard to piece together what's going on over the entire overall set of the story. Um, yeah, could it be made today? I think it would be a reboot would be kind of interesting. Because this show and series was created during the 80s. I do think like the ending for the series was fine. It's like good ending to the series, and the show does end off on a good like ending point. That being said, I do think a reboot set in a different time period would be interesting and could be quite enjoyable. Um, Especially like with modern technology, or even like the technology from when this show was created. Um, because the show is set during the Victorian times, and that limits in some ways what it can do. So I think a newer story with new technologies, new terrors that need to be explored, as well as a wider range of cultures. Because although the show does take have at least one tale, and I don't think this is spoiling it, that takes place in India, it is very limited to just Britain itself, not even rest of Europe. So I think a more wide-ranging uh, set of stories would be interesting, especially since air travel would allow for wider ranges of adventures. Also, technological horrors like AI or a wide range of other things could really expand the show. So I do think the show, while it did end off on a good area, I think revisiting the Mausoleum Club would be an interesting thing for the BBC to consider doing it because this was produced by the BBC. So yeah, that's sort of all I've got. This was not going to be massively long. Uh, in depth. Well, it's better than the. I could do more in this with than the shorts, but this wasn't going to be as long because there's much in this show that I can't talk about because I don't want to spoil it for you. Um, yeah, like this is it. There is a bit of a mystery and a bit of suspense with this show, so I didn't want to spoil anything. But yes, I still highly recommend it, despite some of the cons. But it is a gripping thing, and especially since we're not in October yet. But if you save this for October, it could be nice and atmospheric and thematic for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do recommend this show. Anything else? Oh yeah, nothing else I really think to cover up. But I've been doing this for a year now. In a year, I know we had the recently had the year celebration thingy and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think we'll just wrap it up here. It wasn't going to be a massively long thing. But yeah, I'm going to be doing more shorts. That's probably where I'm going to be doing more of this stuff because my target demographic is tired office workers, and through our research, we've discovered they like the shorts. So that's a great way to help my target demographic, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this. That, and because it's my job and I'm a sock puppet. What else am I doing? It's also better than doing real work. Anyways, I think we'll end it here. Yeah, we'll end it here. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.